everything that has happened in terms of diplomacy in Syria has largely been because of the Russians taking the initiative. It has not been because, in some way or another, the opposition has coalesced. There's a certain leverage that the West, with the United States in particular, behind, has been able to sort of,
Okay.
impose
What about
upon the
vetting the
regime.
rebels?
Rather, and indeed, the Syrian people have failed, largely in their efforts to change the reality vis-a-vis the regime. But the Russians came to the rescue, saving the United States from having to respond to the use of chemical weapons in 2013. The Russians also managed to come up with this formula that ultimately succeeded in Vienna in creating this political process after the failure of the first.
Right, get rid of the
UN.
chemical weapons.
Right. Now, I think that the Russians are playing. The Russian strategy is twofold. I mean, I think to some extent they want to see an end to the Syrian conflict. Now, there's always this question. I frankly don't think they're going to be selling out the regime, but there's always this question of whether or not Russian interests will take it beyond the interests of the Syrian regime. For right now, I think everything that has been agreed to in Geneva, in the negotiations, these 12 points of commonality,
Move towards a transition, move towards elections.
2254 of the Security Council, et cetera, all of this stuff is not anything that the Russians or the regime necessarily would disagree with the possible exception of the whole question of Bashar al-Assad and the degree to which the international community imposes a choice.
So it could yet
on
happen
Syria.
thanks to Russia's puppeteering.
No. What I'm saying here is that
Just briefly.
is that I think that what is going on here is a game whereby Russia is providing the diplomatic top cover for the Syrian regime to press to fruition its steadfastness campaign of holding on and holding out and counting on, ultimately, the rest of the world, and particularly the Syrian opposition, going away, giving up, and thinking, okay, we'll fight another day, another way, and basically the regime wins, and Russia wins behind it.